And that's it. We're on. What's up, everybody?
Hello.
This is just me and Quiz here today.
Sorry, guys. It's just us two.
Just us today. This is going to be an episode. This is going to be a full episode put out next week. But this is what you guys been wanting. So we're going to do this. I've done a lot of research on this case, and I guess you can see by the title what it is.
Someone had requested this, right? When we were chatting last week.
Yeah. So, well, let's wait a few minutes. Let's talk a few minutes until some people get in here. Anybody in here right now?
Brittany's already here.
What's up, Brittany?
Hello, hello.
Oh, I am not getting. Oh, here it is. Live chat. Brittany, what's up? So this was, it was requested by quite a few of you guys. A lot, actually.
Yes, Courtney, we doing this.
I've got all the information for you, Courtney. We're starting back at the very minute that it happened and going from there. That's how I did the case. So, and I'm monitoring it live too. And if anything comes out while we're doing this episode, we'll talk about that too. But
we'll have to do a lot, like some live ones.
Yeah, we're probably going to do live updates this week too, because I don't know.
There's some stuff happening on the fly with this one, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I do want to say, we are going to Moscow tonight.
Okay. Not, I'm assuming not Russia. Because I was going to say, let's go get some vodka, man.
Moscow.
Yeah.
Moscow, Russia. Or Moscow, Idaho. But so,
damn, I don't have any ginger ale or ginger beer to make Moscow mules, but had I known.
This is the Stabbings. We're going to go through it step by step, and this is the complete case. Everything you need to know. Everything. You don't have to go anywhere else. I've used probably about 100 sources, and I'm going to do a complete write-up, a timeline with every one of them. Boom, 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 boom. I went from so if you don't know, this was, a month ago? What's today, the 10th? So
it is the 10th.
So this happened on the 12th. So yeah, we're right at 1 month of 4 college Idaho students getting brutally stabbed and murdered. And there's no one caught yet. There's no suspect. And it's kind of looking like it's getting bungled, honestly. But this is the case in its entirety as up to right now. I can promise you that. But I do want to say, a lot of people have requested me to do this case, but I want to give this credit to Erica. She actually messaged me on our Patreon. You can go there, patreon.com/talkmurder. If you're brand new here and you don't know us, because a lot of you guys probably are going to filter in just from the keywords, we do a true crime podcast, Talk Murder Me. You can find it on any podcasting app. We are almost at 400 episodes. We've been doing this for a long time. So
We have.
Yeah, I think this is episode 389.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Plus we have a bunch. We're technically already over 400.
With all the part twos, you mean?
Well, not all the part twos, but all the
like live.
No, not the live. Well, that too, but all the ones only for our member.
Oh. I mean, yeah, we've just done a lot of episodes. Yeah. I know Courtney was making fun that we didn't have any ginger ale or ginger beer on hand to make Moscow mules on the fly. We've got a shit ton of alcohol, but like no mixers.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like the non-alcoholic beverages in this house are sugar-free Monster for John, some protein, like protein shakes, and Zero Gatorade and Diet Coke. That is the extent of our mixers that we have.
That is it. Let me send our link to our buddy Will right quick. He wants to probably watch. So, I don't know if I just said this, but I do want to. This is for you, Erica. You've been our supporter for a while, for 8 months, and we appreciate it. And although a lot of people did request this case, you were the last. And I just said, you know what, whatever, I'll do it. These usually aren't my cases. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I usually focus on serial killers and like cannibalism and all kinds of CIA cover-ups and Area 51 cases. But this is obviously what people are looking for and what you guys want. So that's why we're covering it. So I don't know. Let's I don't know. Cheers. Let's drink a beer or something, and wait like another couple minutes to get people in here.
I know. No shot. We can't do the shot without shot. Just doesn't work. It's just not a thing we can do. Sorry.
Yeah.
We have to pick it up next week. So I think she's only, speaking of, I mean, I know let's see, it's the 10th. So next week, the 17th, we will all be here for sure. And I think that'll be the last time we're all together before Christmas. Because of Jen is going to, I think, head up to Massachusetts that week. Mm-hmm. So I think she's actually going to miss unless we may have to record like on Friday, the day before New Year's Eve, instead of New Year's Eve, because that's the Saturday. And I know Jen has a New Year's Eve party.
Sable, are you talking about Jen? Oh, her cat. I thought you said her pup.
Sable was asking if we call Hubba Bubba. And I said, we call him a lot of weird names. But I probably like Hubs and Hubby.
Yeah.
Most of all.
Yeah.
Baby Hubs.
Our Wi-Fi password, or not password, but the name. The name is Hubble Bubble Baby Boy.
I'm sure our neighbors are like, what the fuck?
There's someone down the street that has the Wi-Fi name FBI Surveillance Fan. Have you seen that?
Yes.
But the ironic thing is, and they probably don't know, we actually live by a retired FBI agent. Mm-hmm. And it's not him.
Yeah, it's not his. It's not his.
So I wonder what he thinks about that.
He probably finds it hilarious. Don't you think? He's probably like, ha, this guy.
Yeah. That guy can like snap my neck in 10 different places in like a second.
I don't know. I think you can still have a one-up on him.
Yeah, maybe.
He's retired.
Yeah.
Like, I know you are also retired from your military service, but you're like 30 years younger than him. So
yeah.
I think you got it.
All right. So Nicole, if you guys don't know that this is my significant brother.
I think that's problematic.
Well, actually, let me do this. This for the podcast. Welcome to Talk Murder to Me podcast. My name is John. I'm sitting here with Nicole.
What is my real name? We don't call each other by our first names. Like, if I ever call him John, like, it's like, what, me?
Yeah. So I'm sitting here with Nicole. We post episodes all week long, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can follow us on any podcasting app. If you like this, check out our sister podcast, Among the Dirt and Trees. Brienne, she's doing a wonderful job. She does true crime that happens out in nature. So if you listen to 10 of her episodes, you will rethink camping this summer.
I'm glad I never thought about camping. Period. The end.
Because it's a lot of camping cases, a lot of missing cases too. Like, people going missing and there's no evidence.
Wilderness just isn't for me.
Yeah. So it's really, really great. And she also does like international water cases. So cruise ships, which apparently that's the way to go if you are having an argument and don't want to serve papers. You can serve them off the poop deck. Because that is apparently the way to get away with it. But anyway, that's all I got. If you like this, we are going to do another episode after this. And this isn't going to be a recent episode. Actually, this is kind of vintage. Or actually, I learned the name for it. It's not... So we think of true crime before 1900 as what? Victorian. However, that's what people use, but that's an English word, right? A England word.
Yeah.
So the actual word to use, which no one does for us, cases that are before that time period, is Gilded Age.
Ooh.
So we're covering a Gilded Age case. How about that?
All right, cool. That sounds fun.
And it is a serial killer this is a crazy story. I can promise you no one has covered the story that we're going to do next. And let me give you a little teaser on that if you want. What do you think?
Sure.
All right. Let's So 1 second. And I'm getting everything started right now, so it's going to take a second. All right, little teaser. He said, this is a confession by him. I have killed 9 persons. I like that, right? 9 persons. Said the archfiend, speaking to the author of this sketch. And I can say that I don't feel any worse for it. I have only one wish now in the world. I wish to kill 2 more persons. The writer held his breath, doubting, wondering, and fearing. He asked, who? A preacher and a reporter was...
Oh, whoa. And he was talking to a reporter?
Was his quick reply. And we're going to show you what happens after that. And also, why would you want to kill a preacher and a reporter? It's a crazy case. I don't think anyone's covered it. And so stay around for that. If you want to, that's patreon.com/talkmurderdeaths or top tier Supremos. And we'll be doing that next. But I am super excited. Well, not excited. This is a very tragic case, obviously. Tell me everything you know about it right now. Anything, just little details.
The Idaho thing?
Yeah, Idaho, yeah.
All I know is what someone had put in the chat last week, which was others were in the house when 4 people were killed, and there was like blood everywhere. I think is the whole. That is all I know.
So give me like a synopsis. Like, okay, this happened, like in an apartment or
a dorm or like campus housing or something.
So and four people got stabbed, and there were 4 deaths. Do you think it's just from what
I don't know. I don't know anything about this.
No, I know. I'm just trying to like judge where most people are because, a lot of people, they'll see headlines.
Well, I know less than what most people know about this.
That's
you got to remember because we are told don't read any true crime news. So only from what somebody had like posted in the chat about this is what I.
All right, guys.
I know.
So, and if you're new here and you want to comment and everything, just you got to subscribe for like 20 minutes. That's so we can keep all the riffraff out.
So were they? Courtney says they were roommates. Were they like for those who were killed? Were they males, females?
Yeah. Here we go. So let's get it going. Yeah, I'm going to answer all those questions. Let me get rid of this little bookmark thing.
I assumed you would, but.
So we're on Google Earth now, and this is where we're going. Oh, shoot. Well, that didn't really work. 1 second. 1 second. I'm going to actually go back to that link. All right. We are starting here November 13th, 2022. So, 28 days ago? Mm-hmm. And this is where we're going. Now, I know a lot of the reports say King Street, okay? But, I've looked all around here and on King Street. This is the house. So let me see. I got to kind of get my wits about me here. So the University of Idaho is right here. Boom. So just like many colleges, which I never really went to. I never did the sorority life and or fraternity life, I guess you have. No.
Our school did not have that.
So we're actually going to right here. Well, no, not right there. Sorry. It's going to take me a minute. I went through all this and...
you got to walk down the street. Hang on.
Yeah, but I want... this is really important that you guys see this because the layout is really important. And this is why I do this. But it's up here on the hill. Now, it says King Street, but this is it right here. This is it. You can compare the rocks here. I'm going to pull up another photo real quick and so we can compare it.
Is that home blurred out?
Yes, and I did.
Because of the crime?
Well, so I asked about that on live chat. I'm like, this is a little odd that this is blurred out. And somebody said, or Shram said, or good supporter, she said that you can actually do that yourself, and which I did to our house. It's a great idea, people. So this is one thing you need to do. It takes 2 seconds. Well, first, if you're listening to this and you're alone at your house, go make sure your damn door is locked. First thing, because this shit could happen anywhere. But also get on Google Maps, look up your address, and there's 3 little dots say report a problem and then blur your house out like they did this. The reason being is because especially now in during the Christmas season, you'll have robbers coming in, right? And they'll actually look at the layout of the house on Google Maps to find their best entrance. So that is the reason you do that. You report a problem and then say, for privacy reasons, I want my house blurred out, and they will blur it out for you.
Wow.
So make sure you go do that. It's very important.
All right, let's make sure we do that for Jen when we're over her house tonight.
But so this is the upside of the house right here. And you can see this is the same location here. So what I'm trying to say is this is Queen Street.
I'm like blown away by that fact. Sorry, that is great information.
Yeah, it's really great information. So thanks to our Shram for suggesting that. This is the front of the house. So right here,
somebody's left flowers,
and you see we're at the same place. Now I want you to look at the outside of the house. So we just went from Google Earth right here. So notice this right here.
It looks like there's is that an office building or something right by it? Like what's that long?
Where? Oh, this is.
Yeah.
So
is that a school building?
This might be the fraternity building. There's, I don't know. I'm never in a fraternity, guys. So.
Oh, maybe it's an apartment complex. Okay.
Yeah, but down the street there is a fraternity Xi something. Like I said, I've never been
like
in
another frat house.
Yeah, and you can see there's a fraternity center right here, whatever that means.
I think it might just be another fraternity house.
Yeah, fraternity house is what I'm trying to say. But I think one of this lodge is as well. So there are, and every one of the victims tonight was in a fraternity/sorority.
And is this University of Idaho?
Yes, okay. Exactly. So they were all students, and we started this case November 13th. So this was 11:58 is where I officially started researching the case. That is the 911 call that came in about a quote unconscious person. There were, as you said earlier, there were 2 surviving people in the house. One of those surviving ladies called 911. So don't get stuck on the unconscious person. It sounded weird at first, especially in when this case first launched, when this first happened. People were like, well, who would report unconscious? It was just the roommate that reported it. It was just a weird kind of wordage, right? All right, so any questions so far? Anything you got?
Not yet.
All right, so November 13th, 2022, the Moscow police got a 911 call saying that an unconscious person was in this address, and the police, when they go, they see an awful scene. It is a stabbing scene, which means there's a lot of blood, and you have 4 victims that ultimately are killed. Now, I'm not good with names. I did listen to the names, but these are the victims right here. And let me see if I can pronounce them correctly. So don't kill me because the names, right? But I'm going to try. You have Ethan Chapin. Mm-hmm. Chapin, excuse me. I think his name's Chapin. Ethan Chapin, he's 20 years old. I'll get to who he is in a little bit. You have Kaylee Goncalves, Goncalves, Goncalves. I think that's her name. That's her right here. Okay, next you have, no, excuse me, that's not her right here. This is Xana Kernodle, Kernodle. She's 20 years old. These 2 are in a relationship, or were in a relationship.
Okay.
Here you have Madison Mogen, 21 years old, and Kaylee. Oh, that's Kaylee Goncalves.
Okay.
And I'll tell you which one is which in a minute. But they are very close friends from what I found.
All 4 of them are close friends.
Yeah. Everyone in the house is extremely close with each other. There's plenty of social media accounts. You can still go to all theirs and see that they're really close with each other. The first thing that came out, I want to say, is, well, this was a jealousy murder-suicide. So obviously you have one male here, and there was a jealous thing, and he killed all three and then killed himself. That's not how it happened. Ethan was not even living there at the time. This was just a female residence, and he was staying there with his girlfriend.
Okay, so asking a clarifying question: were the killer, the person who killed, is one of these four?
No. It's not that.
Or is that what a lot of people are assuming?
Listen. This is really important. This is why I believe that this case is getting bungled right out of the gate, is because the mayor especially came out of the gate and started speculating in public about, oh, this is a robbery gone wrong. No, this is some kind of love thing.
Why would the mayor make speculations like that in public? That's not his job.
Exactly. So, and plus that, when the police purposely withhold information, not only does the family get involved, they start releasing to the media, but also it fuels speculation. So if the police don't come out and say, okay, this is not a murder-suicide, people are going to automatically kind of put that together that it might be. It might be a jealousy thing. That rumor is going to spread, and then that's how we have, all this speculation on the internet.
Misinformation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I did with this case, I want to reiterate one more time. I went back to the first news source that had printed anything about this case, and I went from there. It took me a long ass time, but I went day by day, skipping some of the repetitive, articles from the different sources. But every event that occurred, I researched it in chronological order, I guess. So I saw all this, right? I saw the mayor come out and say it's a robbery gone wrong, and quote the crime. Or excuse me. And one of the things it said, it was a quote isolated, targeted attack. One of the big things about the police on this point is they immediately came out and said that, and that was thanks to the mayor too. He helped speculate that. This was an isolated, targeted attack. No threat to anyone else, so don't worry. You're not in danger. This was an isolated, targeted attack. The killer's still out there. So don't worry about it. They're trying to calm people. There's not a killer out there that is some kind of weird spree killer that is knifing people, because it's a targeted attack. But they don't know that for sure. You know why they don't know that for sure? Because they don't know who fucking did it.
Right.
So why would they say that? Why would they release that?
Unless they have evidence that they're not releasing that's making them say that? I don't know.
Nope. They release that, but even if they do, there's still a danger to everyone. Because the killer is not caught. You know what I'm saying? It's still a danger to everyone. No intimate or no imminent threat to anyone. This was a targeted attack. It's still a dangerous place. The reason they're saying that is obviously they don't want to deter any new students coming into the school year. That's obvious what it is. They don't want some, loose killer out there knifing people, and their attendance will be down. I mean, that's got to be. I don't know why else they would say that. Anyway, and that may be the reason the mayor got involved. Anyway, that's speculation, but...
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to read all this stuff because I forgot to send it to you. But, I don't know. You can...
Whatever you would like.
Let me send you this one. How many people we got on here now? Is it...
We've got a dozen folks hanging out with us today.
Dozen folks. What questions does everyone have? Like I said, we're going to go through this whole thing, and by the end of this, you're going to know more than you wanted to know about this case. I can promise you that.
Sable says, the mayor, nothing to see here, people, just some random stabbing. And Courtney says, there was a stalker theory, but that one doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the stalker theory. There was there was someone caught on Livestream on Twitch that the hooded figure, but apparently he's been knocked out in the suspect line. Let me send this to you right quick, and you can read this. All right, let me know when you get that. That is, I just emailed it to you. This is what the mayor says, which is weird, right? Well, why would the mayor get directly involved right at first?
I mean, I understand they're going to get involved from like a press conference perspective, but that's when you kind of like anything that I think we've ever usually seen, the mayor's there to like tell the police, tell everybody the police are on it and they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
And everything's under control. Don't panic. Sorry for, victims' families. What are we doing for the community? Like, that's the job of the mayor.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to speculate. The crime itself occurred at 3 or 4 in the morning. It was reported to the police at noon. Bet said Monday, quote, if there was going to be a crime spree, it probably would have perpetuated itself through that time frame.
All right, so one more thing about why they would say that it's not a threat. Just last thing about this is from Fox News. If you want to read this right here. This is what one parent has said about it.
Telling parents there is no threat is not helpful, he said. Hiring off-duty police is a quick way to put boots and guns where they need to be, protecting students until the suspect is arrested. Yeah,
so I think they're trying to... I get it. Like, they're trying not to scare people. They don't want people to... But they're going to be scared if the killer's not caught. End of story.
Right, 100%.
I would imagine most of the students went home anyway for Thanksgiving. But there's still a killer out there right now, unless they caught him within the last 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. He's still out there. There is a threat. End of story. Lock your door. Had
your kids, had your wife.
End of effing story, dude. There is a threat out there. There is someone on the loose. It's kind of a oxymoron or whatever, saying there's no threat. The killer is still at large. Those things don't go together. Anyway, that's the last thing we were talking about that. All right. There was no weapon left at the scene, and the New York Times reported that the mayor, Art Betsy, the mayor of Moscow, said it was a, quote, crime of passion. So this is right when the case hit. So you see, it's not us true crime sleuths doing this, guys. It is the mayor speculating right out the bat that this is a crime of passion. What stance does he have to say something like that? Obviously, he says something like that, and then not only is it may not be true, but it actually interferes with the investigation. These police, they get what is it called? Focus, where damn it, what's the term when they're
like
they can't look at anything
single-minded type thing?
Yeah, they get I can't remember the term, damn it. But they get laser focused in on some of the wrong
tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision. Yeah,
there you go. Thanks, Wolfie.
They get tunnel vision, exactly. All right, so November 13th, what we know is around 3 to 4 a.m. this happened. It may have been earlier. I did see a report that it could have been around 1:30. We do have a scream coming in that I'm going to be talking about a little bit later. A local chef came home and he said around 3:34 he hears a horrible scream. He thought it was a party because this is the university, so it could be a party. And so he doesn't know for sure if that was the scream or not. But we do know sometime in that time frame up until when the police were called at 11:58 a.m. that following morning was when this happened. Okay, so we are all on the same page here. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. A little bit about how brutal this is. For a robbery gone wrong, which I'm going to tell you, I have a really good speculation on my part about who the type of person that would do this. So if you guys want to stay around to the end, I'll definitely tell you my theory. But, speculation. But this was an extremely, extremely brutal stabbing. It just wasn't a random one-off. And the reason why I say that is from one photo here. And I want you to tell me what you see in this photo.
You could also argue that it was targeted because the person didn't kill everyone in the house.
Exactly. I'm going to go through the house layout in a little bit.
Is that blood on the foundation?
What you're looking at right now this is from the Daily Mail. They were the first to see this. The Daily Mail says, quote, there was so much blood that it, quote, oozed through the walls of a 3-story house. This is the victim's blood. It actually ran down the exterior of the house. That is a very violent stabbing.
Are there any other photos of the crime scene at this point?
Not from inside the house. Let me show you. I got more of the house, but not actually inside the house yet. But this is the layout of the house. Now, before we get any further, let me tell you a little thing that might be really important for you guys right now. The couple, Ethan and his girlfriend Kaylee. This is them right here. They were on the second floor. Mm-hmm. The first floor, right here, where you would come into the house if you were just anyone. The 2 unharmed sleeping roommates were the ones who called the police.
Okay.
So what does that mean? That means that the killer came in through here, either through this door or through the balcony.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's very important.
Through the backsliding door or
the balcony.
Yeah.
Climbed up the balcony, which is a very important thing to keep in mind.
Uh-huh.
Because
he knew where they would be.
I'm just telling you, you make up your own mind, but that's let me show you
I would also say too, so was there a party or something going on that night at the house?
There was a party, yes.
So I would think, let me just kind of take that aside. If someone's going to...
Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that. There was a party from what neighbors said. It didn't actually come out that there was a party, but we do know that all 4 deceased had been in different locations prior to being murdered. The couple, Kaylee and Ethan came home and separately from when the two girls came home.
Well, I would say, and where were the two girls?
Well, I'm gonna get to that.
Okay, well, yeah. Let me go back to my other. What I was gonna say was, so if it was like if someone was breaking into the house, maybe that's incorrect. If I were to just say they knew where certain people were, I would assume in a robbery or a violent crime scenario, the odds of someone trying to break in through the front door or front windows is probably smaller than someone going in the back or finding a point of entry that would go more undetected.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe whoever goes into the house just went in the back for being undetected or through the balcony. And so she, whatever, didn't get to the front and first floors where the other 2 were sleeping, and maybe didn't even realize that they were there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let me back up one second. I did make a minor mistake, and that's my fault. I did fix this at first, but I then messed it up again. This is, for the record here, this is Xana, 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 and Ethan. So they are a couple.
Xana, okay.
Xana, yeah, not Kaylee. Kaylee, sorry, I'm not good with names, guys. Kaylee and Madison were
the other 2 girls.
The blonde victims, and they were basically sisters. They were not biological sisters, but they have been friends since childhood. And the only comforting thing in this case, from what I've seen, and this isn't a quote by me, this is what the family said, the only thing that brings anyone comfort is the fact that they died together. Because that's how they would.
They were super close.
Every photo you see of them, they were closer than sisters if you look at their photos. you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's move on. All right. I'm not going to focus too much on the individuals because there's a lot of other stuff. I will put what they were majoring in and their background, stuff like that. That would just be too much to get right now. So we're just focusing on the murder itself at this point. Okay. So we just stopped at the blood was, quote, oozing through the walls. I showed you a photo of the blood actually coming down the walls. And that wasn't, that's not just something you say. You actually saw the blood dripping down the freaking walls. Mm-hmm. And the lead investigators said that they've never seen anything like this. And it was, quote, the worst we've seen, end quote. Now, Kathy Mabott, which is the county coroner, says that the victims, and this is from News Nation, Idaho students stabbed to death were likely asleep. So, one man, and is not a female. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's a male that did this. I mean, end of freaking story. One man did not come in there, and it's only one. I'm telling you that right now. It's not two. One guy did not come in there, from my experience.
From covering 389 episodes worth of serial killers.
One guy came in there, and the thing was, well, that's very dangerous. Yeah, even though it's women, okay, and he can overpower them, there's 4 of them.
Really, 6 people.
Yeah, exactly. Really 6. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's very dangerous to do. But if they were asleep, then it's a lot easier because you got the surprise attack on them, right?
And if they were like, maybe if they went out that night or something like that, if they had alcohol in their system or something, it would have been harder for them to like wake up.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see. Where's the quote where they're asleep? Sometime between 1:45, they were attacked. I'm trying to see. This is the coroner's report. She said they were most likely sleeping. Well, she says it has... Oh, here we go. Right here. Read that.
It has to be somebody pretty angry in order to stab 4 people to death, Mabott told News Nation. The victims were stabbed in the chest and upper body, the coroner said. So
the coroner comes out and says that. We don't have the autopsy report out, but we do know they were stabbed in the upper chest. They were sleeping, and to go over this right quick, they were killed at different times, which is going to become a huge thing that we're going to talk about. But here is the layout, a good layout. This is from the Daily Mail here. So this is the first and second floor and the third and fourth. Kaylee and Madison, they were sleeping in the same bed. Okay. They were literally best friends. They're like sleeping in the same bed. Like as they do everything together. So they were attacked together as well. So, and so was Ethan and Xana. So, and they were on the I thought it was only 3 floors. This is 4 here. I wonder what that is.
I think like the way that you could see the back laid out.
Yeah. So they were in, I believe, bedroom 2, even though that hasn't been released yet, exactly which one they were in that I've seen. We're talking about Madison and Kaylee. Okay, is everyone with me? Everyone, any questions or anything? Am I covering this okay? I'm basically going down the list, so I don't know how else I'd cover it.
Sable says, giving me Ted Bundy vibes.
Dude, good.
I agree.
Good point. That's an excellent point. The reason she said that is because if you remember, Ted Bundy, his last murder spree was in the University of Florida?
Yeah, I think so.
University of Florida. So Ted Bundy was a sexual lust killer. He had a very bad problem. If you read...
That's an understatement.
If you read Ann Rule's excellent book, she was actually really good friends with Ted Bundy. I think we talked about that. But Ted Bundy he was probably the worst sexual deviant that has ever existed. But his last spree was completely unrelated to his normal killings. He basically went into, I believe it's the University of Florida, I may be incorrect, It's been so long since I've covered it. But he went in there with logs, with firewood logs, and bludgeoned, I think, 3 or 4 university students. And so that's what Sable's talking about, Ted Bundy vibe. It does seem eerily similar to that. So great point there. Great point. That's awesome. All right, let's move on. We got a ton of people in here, I know, don't we?
Yep, we are.
Everyone wants to know about
growing.
All right, so like I said, this is everything up till this point, and I'm even going to monitor it live here after we cover all this to see if anything else is out. So Kathy Mabbitt, she is the coroner. Now, there is something in the news about her, but it's unrelated. Unrelated, so I'm not putting it in here. If you see it, she also is an attorney, and she is currently defending a murderer. So it's a coroner / attorney.
Huh.
It's kind of a weird...
Busy.
Very busy, yeah. But she is defending a murderer, and from what it seems like, they were unrelated. So I omitted that because I don't want to bog people down with that, right? And people do have problems with that too, right? You know. All right, so here, moving on, I want you to read some of this stuff if you don't mind. This is so we're going to talk about some retired detectives, and we're going to talk about some FBI agents who have had a say in this matter. One retired detective, Phil Waters, he says the following. Let me see. Pull this up for you. Let me see. To do this. Here you go. Read this. This is retired detective Phil Waters.
The use of an edged weapon is going to prevent any kind of real sounds that would awaken the other 2 girls, Waters says. If this person, and it appears to be they are, proficient with an edged weapon, the deaths would have occurred so quickly that there would have been no opportunity for them to cry out.
Okay, that's from Inside Edition. That's from his quote right there. So they were killed quickly. This is also very important right here. He claims... This is from the New York Post. Just read that headline.
University of Idaho murders. Cops believe killer proud of the brutal weapon.
So what they're trying to say at this point is because you saw the blood oozing out. These were, quote, large punctures. The police are now saying that the killer is proud, quote, proud of the, quote, brutal weapon. Why do you think that is? Like, tell me what you think at that point. Like, proud, what does that mean?
Because of how much blood, like, was apparently involved in the scene?
Okay, this is kind of going... I want you guys to think about this. I was in the military, okay? When I hear this proud of this brutal weapon, and let me show you what they think the weapon is right quick. Okay. The weapon type is extremely important, and I think they're not looking in the right place, and I think they need to go back and see who would use these types of weapons. This is what they think the weapon is. It's a K-bar knife. We've used them. If you've been in the freaking military, you at least know this knife. End of story.
So why would they assume that it is this knife?
They haven't came out and said that yet, but by the puncture wounds and how deep they were, this is kind of what they were looking for. No, they have not found the knife. This is basically what they came out and said. This was the K-bar knife, a K-bar combat knife. Now, if that's speculation, then that's BS. I'm telling you, because that, to me, this is a very important clue to who you should be looking at. Anyone who's proud of their weapon, a knife weapon, and is comfortable with that amount of blood, that intimate blood. When you stab someone, it's not like in the movies. Their juices, not only blood, but their spit, their everything is getting on you. You have to not only be comfortable with it, you have to enjoy it. So you have to have a weapon you're proud of, which is a K-bar knife, because this is a pretty expensive knife that you can't buy anywhere.
You can't just like buy one on eBay?
I mean, yeah, you can buy them on eBay. You can buy them, maybe sports stores have them. You're not going to buy this like at Walmart, I'm pretty sure. Someone who would have this, two people come to my mind. Like I said, this is my speculation. Two people come to my mind: military, ex-military, hunter. That's it. That is who would have that knife.
So I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna go with like someone who is like a wannabe.
Maybe, but that's even still the same route. Think of the alternative here. Think of this right quick. What we've done a lot of these stabbings. What is it? It's a kitchen knife, fillet knife. What? I mean, I've learned all these. Serrated Cutco knife. Mm-hmm. It is. If it is something like this, it is on purpose. It is bought for that reason. I can promise you that. If they are looking for someone with a K-bar knife like this, I can promise you it's going to be either military or a hunter. That is kind of like my theory. And they're not looking in that direction.
So the weapon itself was not yet found, right? Like this is just they're kind of speculating it was a knife. Probably like this. They
have not came out specifically that I've seen and said they found the weapon. They searched all the dumpsters and everything else. They may have the weapon. Well, they just don't come out and say it.
One thing I do want to...
we're getting more information from the parents at this point than we are the police.
Well, I'm going to read what Tony here in the live chat has shared. This is by far the biggest case I've ever worked. 4 victims at one scene, then food truck footage. Now I have to look for a white car. Then I have to deal with silence from frat party and first floor girls. I'm 28 days into this case, and I have more questions than I did a month ago. Every day I cook up new scenarios and more questions, and it doesn't help that I don't have the police being transparent.
Yeah.
Tony
great.
Tell us more if you can.
Yeah, Tony, you're on it, man. Great.
So there's a lot more stuff that we need. He referred to a video. He referred to a car. He referred to a couple things that we still have to get into.
We're getting there.
But so no weapon found, but they are speculating it is this type of weapon.
Okay, let me go back real quick. So Tony's ahead of us right now. We're getting there, Tony. This is November 29th. Like I said, I went from November
going day by day.
Or excuse me, I went from the November 12th to now. So that is November 13th. Actually, it came out on the 15th was the first like official press release, which is right here by the police.
Oh, this is interesting.
This is where you would start from right here. This is the actual press release, Moscow, November 15th at November 13th, 2012 at 11. This is the official report. This is where you want to start right here. That is basically where I started this story. So right now we are at the 29th. So,
yep.
Yeah, we do have a lot to go.
All right. Tony also shared, when I heard the University of Idaho had an on-campus agricultural meat butcher shop where they sell retail meats, it expanded the number of students with access to knives and butchering skills.
Yeah.
Woo! Damn. Yeah, that just adds a whole nother complication.
Tony, I want to ask...
Do they have an ROTC program would be my other question. Do we know if Idaho has something like that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't think about that. I'm not personally thinking it is a student, but
I mean,
I was about to ask Tony something.
Something that lives. I mean, to live in a college town, otherwise, or I'm assuming not coming from a super far distance. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be in the general.
I feel like there's a fork here. I feel like we need to get this, and you'll like this, Tony. I feel like this is the first question we should ask in this thing. And then we cannot, and obviously we're going to go the whole thing, but this is the first question that needs to be answered. Stop looking at cars and all this stuff. All this stuff is just getting people tunnel vision. This is the first questions. End of story. Targeted, not targeted. Because if it is not targeted, we're going to be in for a freaking hell of a ride.
I don't know if it is. At least nothing that we've talked about just right now makes me think it is specifically targeted. Because they could have just picked...
What I'm trying to...
I mean...
What I'm trying to say is, this is what I mean not targeted. Remember him?
Yeah.
That's not targeted.
Right.
We would not have, and this is, I'm showing him Israel Keys. He was a serial killer who went out to different states, and he would not have been caught had he not killed in his own backyard. So that is what I'm saying, not targeted. Completely random. That's a scary situation.
It is.
Or if it's targeted means even if it's someone that they brushed off at the bar and get away from me kind of thing, that's still targeted. But non-targeted is completely
Didn't
random.
know the people, period.
Which I'm sure still happens, you know.
Tony did confirm they have an ROTC program on campus, and the logo of the ROTC campus features a knife.
Oh, really? Holy shit.
So there is a possibility that a student's involved. Possibly.
Yeah, of course. Would you agree with this, Tony, that it is a male and there is one male? And,
yeah, I would agree with that.
And let me go one step further. Based on the type of crime, I'm just going to say it, I believe it's a white male. Okay. Now, I cannot prove that, obviously, but looking at the type of crime, it seems, at least how much we've covered, that this would be perpetrated by a white male of some sort.
That's probably a good educated guess.
It's an educated guess, but it's speculation.
Yeah.
So don't tie on to that. That's just me being, I'm throwing my own theories out there. Shit. I mean, the mayor is already polluting the whole case. Might as well do it too, you know? All right, moving on. So large punctures, and he was proud of the knife. He paid money for the knife. All right. So we already went over the victim.
I'm curious.
Go ahead.
I'm curious if that was the knife that you showed. If that's an expensive knife to acquire.
Yeah, I mean it's not. So like
$100.
If it was like a Gerber, so I don't know why they said it was a K-bar. Either they have the knife or they know something, but it's in the report that says it is a K-bar knife. That's what they're looking for. That is a very specific knife. If I wanted to buy a hunting knife for cheap, you would buy a Gerber. You know what I'm saying? Like I have that big ass Gerber. A K-bar would run you probably, I don't know, $100 for that knife.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I did just do a search. Yeah. You can get them at Sportsman's Warehouse, about $90.
Yeah. So, and the military uses them obviously. All right. Moving on to the next one. Here we go. So this is, Tony had brought this up right here. All right. So this is video shows mystery man. And so right here you have.
Wait, is this the guy in the corner?
So right here you have Madison right there, I believe. And, excuse me. So many freaking names.
Kaylee?
Madison. No, yeah, Madison and Kaylee, excuse me. And they're looking for this man right here. Oh, what the hell?
The guy with the long hair?
No, this. No, damn it, sorry. See that guy with the circle on the top? That with the hoodie.
Oh, okay.
They're looking for that guy because he's just kind of being a creep. That guy in the...
Yep.
I don't want to hit the thing because it makes it... Yeah, so they're looking for that guy. Now, we can pretty much discount that because they found the guy and they said he wasn't a suspect. I do want to say at this point, though, the parents are saying that they are not happy with how the police are handling this and they need to go back and look at some of the people they've already cleared. The parents obviously know more information than the general public. And the parents are putting out that information too. And that's how a lot of the news is getting it. But that mystery man was captured on a Twitch live stream. Twitch is like YouTube, but it's like for gaming.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't know. But it was caught at Grub Truck, which is an outside food truck. At this point, now Madison and Kaylee, these two, okay.
Yep.
They were there. After that, they get an Uber. It may not be an Uber. It was a private driver. Either way, that private driver, whoever it was also cleared. They get, let's just say an Uber. They took an Uber back to the house. All right. Okay.
And they were previously just the two girls. They were at this food truck place. And they take an Uber back to their house, and it's late at night at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, before that, Madison spent, quote, the majority of the night, end quote, at Moscow's Corner Club. And a friend of Madison's, and I'm pulling this from the report here, New York Post. So, dude, every information I'm giving you now, unless I say it's speculation, is from a accredited source. So, they get in an Uber, and a friend and a neighbor says that night they were, quote, just laughing with all of her friends. Okay. So what she's trying to say is, quote, it was just a normal night in Moscow. Okay, that's what she's trying to say. Basically, there was no like stalker beating on the door. She wasn't frantically, having a stalker on the phone type of thing like that. It was just a regular, normal night in Moscow. That's what the report is. Okay. All right. So,
what time was the food truck footage? Do you remember?
Yeah, let's go back there. The food truck.
That was a question from Brittany.
That's a good question. So, yeah, the timeline is super important here. The food truck was a few hours before. Let's see I want to say one thing about this. The food truck, and as well as other things that have been brought to the attention, this food truck specifically was found by the sister of one of the deceased. So it's like, well, why didn't the police get the footage? And since we've covered 400 cases, I can tell you, if someone's happened to you or someone's happened to me, you do your own damn investigation.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's you, man. You got to do all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because
take matters into your own hands.
She's the one that has got this news footage to begin with. We wouldn't even have this if it wasn't for the sister.
Wow.
So let me look at exact timeline so I can give you guys the right minute by minute. All right, so the food truck, it was Sunday, November 13th. They ordered $10 worth of food from the Grub Truckers, and this was at 1:41 a.m. So that's to answer your question.
Okay,
1:41 a.m., yeah.
They get back
this from
only
CNN,
a few minutes later, and it is any time from when they get home
which
to
is
noon the next day.
Which is 1:45 a.m.,
Yep.
obviously.
So was the couple already in the house, or did they go somewhere that
Okay,
night?
let's get to that. Okay. Yeah. We're getting this
we're rolling now. Let's do this.
Yeah. All right. Let me just read this one thing. So
I'm terrible sitting in this stool.
One thing I do want to point out, in September, so this happened in November. In September, we're going back 2 months. September, October. We're going back 2 months. This is important to talk about. If you want to read that headline there.
University of Idaho murders, blood seen oozing from house amid reports of previous threat.
Oh, sorry.
A really good question from Brittany, too. Did the girls have any significant others?
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second.
Okay.
All right. That's a good question. So there was a previous knife threat. All right. And from what it says, let's see. All right. I think there's the actual threat down here. 1 second. It says the Moscow police have received a report there. If you want to read this.
The Moscow Police Department received a report that a group of students were walking the steam plant parking lot number 14, and the Student Recreation Center on Paradise Path, and were threatened by a person with a knife. State Sea Alert from September 12th.
So this was prior. This was a knife threat here. So this is something also to look into. And from what I'm seeing, they have not discounted this guy. They haven't even said who he was. But there was
They may not know who he is.
Yeah, no, exactly. But so that is still on the table at this point.
Okay.
All right. That that man was a white man, 18 to 22, black clothes, black baseball cap, riding a mountain bike, which is concerning because if he would have come in the back like that, and that was, so that's the threat there. Yeah.
I mean,
oh wait, here's what I was looking for. This is the actual threat. This is what I was looking for. So it says vandal alert, Monday, September 12th, threat with knife. The Moscow police, yada yada. You just read that. Yeah. So this is the actual
white male, 18 to 22 years old.
This was submitted by a parent. Yeah. All right. So moving on.
Okay.
So what did you just ask? Like who was killed first?
Where was the couple that night? And then did the girls have a boyfriends or significant others? And then I just was thinking about like, gosh, with how much blood this person who came in and did this would have been covered in blood. Mm-hmm. There was no tracks.
They haven't said it, and we've seen the outside of the house. You would think they'd be everywhere.
You would think there would be blood splatter outside. If the person had a mountain bike, that even like that would
the
show.
Tracks. Yeah, they should have looked for the tracks and stuff like that. I mean, who knows? This is, I think, why it's important to let the public know. Man, this is the day of internet. Everyone's got a true crime podcast, dude. If you don't let us know, we will. You know, it'll come out in a way that you don't want it to. End of story. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, let's just be honest. Like, the reason the police keep this stuff secret is because if they withdraw information like that and hide it, if someone comes forward and offers some of that information that is not public, then they know that he's legit. Whoever is saying this, a witness or whoever, that's a legit source. So that's the reason they do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, they also redact, other students' names and stuff like that for privacy concerns. All right. So the couple were together. They, from what I've seen, they were killed several hours earlier. Okay. So this is a big thing here. Several hours earlier, they were killed. Let me show you the timeline here. All right. Let's see if it's got the exact time, they think. Okay, so all I saw was that they were killed first, quote, several hours earlier. That's all that I've seen put out. So that's a big thing. They were home first.
So,
or excuse me, even if they weren't home first, they were killed first.
And the person waited and stayed there.
That's a big thing.
That's weird. And that does make it seem like it is a little bit more targeted. If it was just random, they would kill the two girls and leave. Or, like, again, kind of, if he wanted to kill more, why not kill the other two people that were in the house? So the couple, we're talking about Ethan and Xana, they were at a party on campus before the attack. The other two females were at a downtown bar. Then they went to Grub Truck. And that's where we got on video. So from what the reports are saying, Chapin, Ethan and Xana were killed hours earlier. So what Nicole just said is the... I'm sorry. I had it flipped. The couple was killed first, and then the two girls. Can you clarify that one?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that one second. Let me...
Is it matters who was killed second. I feel like whoever was killed first was not the intended... Like, not necessarily the person that there may be a tie to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, one second. I want to clarify where I saw it, that it was hours earlier. I'm trying to just kind of throw through here. Let me see.
I'll read some of the
read it real quick.
the comments here. Let's see. I mean, Final Sin wants to know, how can you stab 4 people and leave no DNA? Sable says, it's bizarre because you would think that if they were stabbed, one person would scream, causing a domino effect. It's very strange. The cases that come to mind are like the Axeman of New Orleans or Amityville. Brittany says, or the killer was just there reveling in it, and the other 2 girls came home, and then they waited until they were asleep to keep going. Like they didn't know, but maybe it was a happy surprise.
All right, so this is all right. Police say the couple above 20 years old was Ethan. He was at a frat house 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m. Chapin and I think it's Kernodle. Okay. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Chapin and Kernodle's timeline seems to be one of the larger areas that we don't have a lot of information. Okay, I do want to say this. There is a 3-hour gap. I do remember seeing that, a 3-hour gap, which they're trying to close at this point. They're trying to get whoever was with them at the time to close this gap. So they don't know where they were within this 3-hour period. So.
Okay.
So that's current. Let me see. Let me see. Officials believe the attacks were between 3 and 4 a.m. Let me see. One of them did have a dog. What I've seen is they were killed hours earlier.
Which were killed hours earlier?
Ethan and Xana.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the couple were the ones that were killed first. The 2 girls that were at the food truck were the ones that were killed second after they came home. And fell asleep. Okay. So that's important. I think that means my interpretation of that is that the person was familiar with one of those 2 girls or both of them.
Yeah. Someone tried to make sure that real quick. I don't want to put out anything that's pretty sure. I wrote hours earlier, but I didn't put a source on it.
Yeah, the timeline is interesting. Brittany says, so at 1:45, the couple left the party around the same time the 2 girls were getting food. So they would be getting home not long after each other, maybe within 30 minutes, but but the time of death is hours apart.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up exactly where I saw that.
Or the killer came in way later in the night, very early in the morning, and the time they got home doesn't necessarily matter. Yeah, it could be that he was waiting.
Yeah.
Before anybody came home.
Yeah. Let's go back to that, the timeline, after we continue. Yeah, and we'll look at that because I want to see exactly where I saw that to make sure it's a legit source. Let me see. If anyone can point out some information, we're going to come back to that. But as of now, that's what I have. So that's what we're going with right now. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they were killed first, and where were we at? All right. So who asked about Kaylee's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend?
I think Brittany asked about significant others.
All right. So this is. I want to say this right quick. This is. FBI has joined the case. So the FBI is involved as well. All right. So Kaylee calls her ex-boyfriend his name is Jack. Let me show you these 2 right here. This is the ex-boyfriend and her. Oh, shoot. All these ads. Yeah, this is them right here. Excuse me. This is them. Yeah, this is them right here. So as of now, it seems like the boyfriend Jack, even though there was a lot of calls made that night, and I'm just going to read this. This is from Inside Edition at 2:26 a.m. So here's something right here, Nicole. at 2:26 a.m., which means at this point Kaylee's still alive, because Kaylee starts to call Jack. Like I said, 2:26 a.m. So they left at 1:41 a.m. from the food truck. They get back. Now Kaylee starts to call Jack, her ex-boyfriend. Olivia Goncalves, which is the sister and the one that's bringing a lot of this information out, told Inside Edition the following, quote, Kaylee calls Jack 6 times between 2:26 a.m. and 2:44 a.m. From 2:44 to 2:52, Maddie calls Jack 3 times. Then Kaylee makes a final call to him at 2:52 a.m.
And does Jack answer any of those calls?
I don't think so. I do not think so. But I will say that police have ruled him out as of now.
Okay.
Okay. As any
was he a student there?
As any potential part in this? No, I stopped there when it said you know.
Okay.
All right. So that is the ex-boyfriend. So you have both of the females, which were sleeping together in the bed, you know, as friends, obviously in the same bed. They were probably, I would imagine, in that bed with their cell phone. Kaylee calls Jack, and maybe it was just, you know, I mean, we've all been there, man. You know, calling multiple times. You know, you've probably been drinking a little bit or whatever. It's nothing more than that, I don't think. But then Maddie also calls Jack, and apparently doesn't answer. They have ruled him out at this point. As I said, the sister, Goncalves, is bringing a lot of this information forth. She's the one who found the food truck video. She's also the one who tracked down and interviewed the driver, either an Uber driver or a private driver, something like that. She says, quote, I found neighbors' Ring camera footage so that I could verify that the Uber driver took them home, end quote. That's what she tells Inside Edition. So what I'm trying to say is we've covered a lot of these cases. If something happens to your significant other, yeah, the cops are going to do all they can to help, but you need to do your own research too. You know what I'm saying? If you know where she was, try to go get those videos. Try to go knock on everyone's door, because you'd be surprised who has surveillance cameras. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think she's doing a fantastic job. She's brought 3 big leads already to the case. So, yeah. So anyway, the 2 girls lived on the 3rd floor. They did have a pet dog. Apparently the pet dog was not killed. So I'm going to read this. Quote, to confront the victims on the 3rd floor, the suspect would have to pass through multiple common rooms, including the living room on the 2nd floor. So as of now, you have thousands of tips that are coming in, which this is one of the things, this is how I know that the case is bogging itself down, and not in a good way. This is not good. When they come out and say that they've received thousands of tips, that doesn't mean anything. Solving the case means something, not how many tips you get. End of story. You know what I'm saying? Thousands of tips don't mean nothing, man.
Yep.
The one matters. You know, that just because you see thousands and thousands of tips, that don't mean nothing, dude. You know, you need to solve the damn case.
The case is a high visibility, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm trying to say is, like, they kind of brag about it.
Right.
It's like, oh, we got thousands of tips.
How many leads do they have? It's really...
Yeah, exactly. All right. There is an unsolved Oregon stabbing that happened that is eerily similar. Okay, I do not know if this has been ruled out yet. You might want to go down this route. But this couple right here, this is a completely different case, but it has some of the same similarities. So we're talking about this couple right here who was also stabbed by who was knifed. I guess that would be the term, knifed. This is an unsolved case from 2021, August 13th. Travis and Jamelin Jewett were awakened from their sleep around 3 a.m. on August 13th, 2021. So 3 a.m., that's around the same time, to an unknown assailant attacking them with a knife. Travis fought off the attacker but was pronounced dead at the scene. That is eerily similar to this case as well. Are they related? They haven't came out and said. The FBI is saying that with this case, he fought back. So if Maddie or Kaylee had fought back the attackers, even in some small capacity, there should be biological, skin cells and stuff in the nails and stuff like that. So all that stuff is at the lab right now, I believe. All right. So where are you at, like, right now?
I don't know. I have no idea where I'm at.
Okay. The current belief with that stabbing, I put this in my notes too. It says no link between that stabbing, police say. So the police are saying there is no relation to those. But they have also come out like 3 times that have said this is targeted. This is not targeted. This is targeted. You know what I'm saying? So
It does feel like it's more targeted with the girls.
Yeah. Am I doing this okay? Am I like going through?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys still with me out there? I'm not even checking to see.
Everybody's here.
All right. So the FBI believes that this is a first-time killer. Do you want to try to guess? Do you want to put your input on that? Now, let me tell you a little bit about the FBI. Okay. The FBI is involved. The FBI is not always right. The problem with this case is there's too much speculation. You have retired FBI agents saying something, you have detectives saying something, you have all this, and it's just all mishmush. Okay?
Too many cooks in the kitchen, man.
We've done cases where an FBI profile has said this is a white man, 45 years old, lives home with his mom. Turned out to be a black man with a full-time job. You know what I'm saying? Like completely off.
And sometimes it's dead accurate.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. These speculations, they give these police, they get them tunnel vision. And they miss things that are right there that they should be focused on. So they'll get this new lead, like this new white Hyundai that everyone's talking about. Oh, let's find this. This got to be the killer. At the end of the day, it might just be some grandma that was stuck there or something. But how much energy are we focusing on that? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, all right, sorry. The FBI believes that this is a first-time killer. That's what Jim Clemente says. He's a criminal behavioral expert and a former New York prosecutor. And he says that not only is it a first-time killer... Oh, just go ahead and read that if you want to.
University of Idaho suspect who stabbed students to death is a first-time killer and comfortable with blood.
Comfortable with blood. That's a very big thing. You saw the blood dripping down. To stab someone like that, I've never done it, but it's not like shooting someone. It's very personal. You're getting their breath on you. I mean, I can't imagine. And how deep the stab wounds were. It feels like, to me, it feels like they're not sexual as far as like, getting off. But there are sexual killers that just have the thrill. Sexual, I guess isn't the right word. Thrill killers that just, they kind of like get their jollies with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is like the punctures, wounds were so deep and it was so close and so personal. I mean, that's got to be a traumatic experience for someone that would not a sociopath, I guess. Someone that didn't love to do that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, would you skin a deer? Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Nope. So,
and when you do skin a deer, you're probably not going to freaking just kind of shit. I don't know. I don't really... This FBI agent says he's a first-time killer, and he's comfortable with blood. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe he's a hunter or something, comfortable with blood. Or maybe he's military. That's the route I'm going, dude. I'm just saying. You know? Yeah, anyway. All right, so... All right. The article says, quote, going into an occupied dwelling with 6 young adults, any of them who could have had a knife or a gun or a cell phone to call the police is extremely risky unless you know the circumstances inside, end quote. Also, this guy says he was comfortable with blood because he stabbed all 4 in a quick succession. This may be a hunter or, quote, work as a butcher, end quote. Another quote, he doesn't mind the wet work of getting his hands dirty, and his profession will probably say the same thing, end quote. That's the FBI Jim Clemente. That's what he says. They may have stopped at 4 victims because they got to their intended victim. He uses the word they there. I don't know why he does that, because he switches between he and they. He doesn't mind getting wet work. He doesn't mind the wet work of getting his hands dirty. The next sentence, they may have stopped at 4 victims. Why are you switching? I don't like that. Semantics, dude. They or he, shit like that fuels the media. You know what I'm saying? You're an FBI agent. You need to be pinpoint accurate with what you mean. If you're not, you're just going to get spread around. Is it they or is it he?
Okay.
Quote, I don't think he's the experienced killer. I don't think this guy's done this before, says Clemente, adding that the suspect may have been motivated by, quote, revenge or rejection or some kind of insult. So I was thinking that too. Maybe, girls, how many guys have you pushed off, like, just in a bar? Like, y'all do it all the time, But to some guys, it kills them.
To someone who is unstable.
Yeah, like a veteran. I mean, to be honest. I don't know. A veteran, yeah, combat veteran, I can see that. Yeah, I'm just saying that because I'm one, so I'm pretty unstable. But I don't know. All right, let me see. Revenge or rejection or some kind of insult. So this is what a security consultant and former FBI agent Pete Yakmet says. He also agrees with Clemente, saying that the suspect is a, quote, young, unsophisticated person, end quote. Going into an occupied home where there's 6 people in different rooms in the middle of the night is pretty dangerous. That is true. So, is it targeted? Are you guys still with me?
Everybody's here.
Freaking long. I'm sorry. The parents put out a really interesting theory, I guess. So this is the victim's father, Stephen Goncalves. He is the father of Kaylee. Obviously, he's been extremely emotional. I love how the papers are saying acceptably, because it's acceptable for the parents to be like this. This is a terrible crime that's happened to not only his daughter, but basically his other daughter, because his daughter, Kaylee, and Madison. Kaylee and Madison were so close. They were like childhood friends. They were best friends. So basically this guy has lost 2 daughters, not to mention Madison's father as well. But this is the father right here. And he is put together pretty good. I'd be crying like a little baby. But he puts together a very interesting lead for us, if you want to read that.
Means of death don't match.
Victim's father claims.
Well, you already teed that part up. Means of death.
Okay, what do you think he means by that?
I don't know. Like, the wounds were different?
He's saying that, quote, their points of damage don't match. He is specifically talking about his own daughter, Kaylee, and Madison at this point. We know that they were sleeping in the same bed. They were most likely asleep. They did have a dog there, but I didn't see anything where the dog was barking or anything. But the slaying of these 2 girls, the means of killing them were different.
Than the other couple, you mean? Or just individually?
No,
between the
individually
2 girls?
between them 2.
Okay.
They were talking about them 2. One of them was different than the other.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that they're 2 killers.
No, it means that one was the intended target, potentially.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. All right. Stephen was understandably, he's the father, understandably emotional, saying, quote, I'm just going to say it. It wasn't leaked to me. I earned that. I paid for the funeral. I sent my daughter back to college. She came back in a box. Then he says the following. Kaylee, his daughter, her injuries were, quote, significantly more brutal, end quote, than Madison's. So, significantly more brutal than the other girl who was sleeping right by her. Okay. This is from News Nation right here. So you see, significantly more brutal. All right. That's what the father has heard or seen. I don't know how that works. I guess if it was my daughter, significant other, or even like you, I would demand to see the body in the story.
Somebody is brought in to like confirm and identify.
Yeah, but see like everything, not just the face, you know? So I don't know. But Stephen Goncalves, sorry if I mispronounced the name, but he's saying that the two friends were killed in different fashion because her injuries were, quote, significantly more brutal. All right. So what do you think that is? You think that's targeted?
It could mean it's more targeted. Shrim says it could mean one just wasn't responding or dying fast enough or fought back.
Yeah, I like that theory. So here's my like 2 cents on that if you guys want it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will think it's targeted towards Madison because it's more brutal. It could be something simple as, you remember I said at the beginning of this that Chef came home and heard that scream? That you don't remember? Like he heard this horrible scream at like 4 a.m. or around the wee hours. All right, so you're in there. You stab this victim, and then the other one who's sleeping beside you starts screaming her head off. What does that do to you? You get pissed. You get fucking pissed off. Excuse my language. You get really pissed off, and you take that knife and you take it out on her. That could be as simple as that. That's my speculation there. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? But, it could mean it's targeted as well. But I don't know. All right. So, any other big questions so far? What we got? The two roommates that were living there have been working with the police. They are not involved. End of story. Dylan Mortensen, 19, and Bethany Funk, 19. They were on the first floor. They have been working with the detectives, and they are obviously extremely distraught, and they have been providing everything they know. So they are extremely, extremely lucky. I'm just gonna say it. Holy shit, they are extremely lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus. All right. The hooded man. I know someone talked about a hooded man.
Well, that was in the food truck video. And that was also in the stabbing. So there were two different hooded men.
Yeah, you're
the stabbing
you're
report.
Okay, yeah. So, all right. Let's see. One more thing, real quick. This is the front door, this isn't the front door, but the bathroom door shower was left open. This was confirmed by a neighbor. A neighbor told Fox News that this door was ajar in the morning, just like this. And I believe they left it like that. That's the crime tape there. I think they do that on purpose. Like, if the door's open, leave it open, end of story. Kind of type of thing,
Yeah, because you don't want to get anybody else's prints on the door.
Yeah, plus you don't want to mess with the scene or anything.
At least for at first, yeah.
You know what? I'm surprised that there's not just a blood everywhere on the snow. I mean...
Did it snow after? I don't know.
I mean, geez. I mean, this is just such a violent crime here. All right, let's talk about this. The lead that has been on everyone's pages lately. This is the Hyundai Elantra. This is how this lead came into be. This right here. So this is a tweet. I guess Twitter's still a thing. By Stephanie. She is a newscaster, I believe. New in the Idaho 4 murders. Moscow police are seeking any information about a white 2011-2013 Hyundai Elantra that was in the area of the crime scene during the early morning hours. This is what they are still trying to find. As of now, as of when we started this. They have not found it since we started doing this an hour and a half ago. We're going to check. Maybe they found it. But this is the thing. Now, I want to say, dude, it may not be the killers at all. This may be a fluke type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could be anyone that lived in the area.
Exactly. But, we never know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is, and they'll find it, and this thing will be solved.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it says, quote, someone must have seen it or was spotted on surveillance during that time when not a lot of cars were on the road. For police to release this information means it holds potential significant value to the investigation. Maybe not the suspect, but potentially a witness. And that was from former law enforcement officer and founder of American Investigative Society of Cold Cases, Kenneth Maines. That's what he told Newsweek. So the current gap they're still trying to fill is what I said earlier from the Chapin and Kernodle 3-hour gap. And let me show you. So this is the actual car right here they're looking for. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to read this. Detectives continue investigating what occurred from approximately 9 p.m. on November 12th to 1:45 a.m. on November 13th, when Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were believed to be at the Sigma Chi House on the University of Idaho campus at 735 Nez Perce Drive. Any interactions, contact the police. That's the one gap they're trying to find out now, is when they were actually killed, and where they were. So if you were with them, you tell the police. Like, I'm surprised no one has. But then again, the parents are saying that they have ruled out a lot of suspects really quick that need to be relooked at. So that's not good. You know what I'm saying? But what other questions? Because that is up till now. I'm actually typing in Google right now, and let's see if anything's coming up as of right now. So this is how I did this case, guys. If you're interested, I went to Google News. I go to Tools, and this is how I got all of my information sorted by date. I go all the way down to page 36 or 40 or something like that, which is way back here, and I work my way up. That is how I found all these in the order I did, in case you're wondering. So now we're going to see if there's any new information about this within the last hour, literally the last hour. But I don't see any. One day ago.
I think it's sorted by relevance again. I think you got to fix it.
Okay. Oh man, I can't get that stupid thing. 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Sorted by date. Yeah, you're right. Oh yeah. Oh man, you're so smart.
D says, is it possible that Kaylee was also positioned after her murder? That could also mean that she was targeted. Yeah, maybe. That's a good question. No, we don't know exactly how the bodies were found. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that blood was not on the top floor. You saw it running down the foundation. It looked like the second floor. I don't think that was their blood. I think that was Ethan's. That is speculation. Like I said, we don't know how the bodies were positioned. We don't know anything. We do know that Kaylee was more significantly injured or killed, more power in her, in the thrust of the knife than the other one. That information came from the parents. So this is breaking news right now, 18 minutes ago. Police say stay vigilant. Wow, this is a way different approach than there's no threat. Don't worry about it. Just continue on. Now it's stay vigilant. Yep. All right. So let me see. Tips pour in, a mystery car. So it's all the same thing. Convicted killer arrested mile from Idaho murder, not a suspect. So this is what people are flipping through now. This is the last thing when I researched this case is what I clicked on. Wow. We will have to very closely follow this one. Man, and I'm sorry if I got anything wrong. I have probably 100 sources here. I'm going to do a complete write-up. And I need to go back and make sure where I found that they were killed several hours earlier. I'm not happy with that because I didn't put a source on there. But I don't write something for no reason, so I know I found it somewhere. But that is the freaking case, man. That's all I got. That is all I think you're going to get. What do you guys think? You guys still with me out there? Yeah, they're here. Jesus.
Obviously, it's a terrible case. It's very sad, and I don't know. I don't like the direction it's going with the, let's look out for the car. Because here's the thing. It could not be of any relation. So someone called in.
Yeah, but it's worth a check.
It's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it, but not to get tunnel vision. If you want my speculation, since the mayor is apparently throwing all his theories out there, I guess I can do the same. I would definitely look in the history, the social media accounts for a military person. I think this was, I'm just going to, if I was to make a guess, I would believe that this was a man about my age that is a combat veteran. Number one, he may have went in through the balcony. Mm-hmm. That means he was worried about cameras, security. He needed a quick exit. It could have been someone they brushed off. Number two, K-bar knife. If they're going to throw that term out there, they need to understand who carries K-bar knives. Have you never heard of a K-bar knife? It's because you're not military. If you were in the military, I don't care who you are. You can ask your son. Does he know what a K-bar is? He'll just say, do you know what a K-bar is? He'll say, yeah, it's a knife. But the civilian doesn't know that term. I can promise you that. There's no civilian that's going out and buying a K-bar just for whatever. They'll go to Home Depot and buy a Gerber if they need to do anything, not a K-bar. That's specifically for military. I can promise you that. I would definitely, if I were them, I would check people that were combat veterans, disgruntled as I am,
I feel like you're just like saying that you are the profile of this person.
Holy shit. I don't know, man. Maybe. I don't.
At least I know you haven't been to Idaho. So.
I don't think it's, this is speculation, 100% speculation. May not even be anywhere close, but everyone else is throwing theirs out there. I think is a male my age, and he's military. Prior military, I think he's disgruntled. I think he was a war vet, either Iraq or Afghanistan. And, he's fucking pissed off. I'm pissed off, too. This whole, leaving Afghanistan. You know how many vets are killing themselves and doing shit like this? I don't know. That's just speculation. I'm sorry.
I don't necessarily think it's a military person. I think it's someone that's a wannabe. And they're doing tactical shit because they think it's cool or whatever.
Dude, to kill someone is
I know.
No, you don't know.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh, you're twisting my words.
I know, but unless he's a complete sociopath.
Yes, you have to be in order to do this.
But he's not a wannabe. I don't know.
Because I don't know if it... I'm not convinced it's someone that was actively in the military. I think it's somebody that is into all that shit, but doesn't have the balls to actually go do that sort of thing.
But that's a lot of rage he put behind that knife.
It is.
Do you understand? The blood is 100%. Leaking. The blood is leaking out of the house.
I get it.
That is a lot of hate. That is a lot of frustration. That is a lot of not.
There are plenty of killers and spree killers that we have covered over the last 389 episodes that were not military, and we're kind of like a wannabe.
Yeah, probably some Paul Blart. I mean, I don't know. That's my speculation, guys. Like I said, the mayor's out there speculating, muddying things up, so might as well do the same. All I'm saying is, if you guys want my opinion, I'm just a podcaster. I've done this 400 times. I know that's not a lot, but I have seen a lot of instances where the FBI profile is taken to heart, and then it just... The investigation just stalls out because they're looking for something that's not even close to being what it is. So... what I'm trying to say is let's not focus only on the cars. We've got to find this car, or got to find this. Yeah. Let's I would definitely look and make sure that it's a K-bar knife. I believe the K-bar knife, if it is a K-bar knife, I believe that changes a lot of things. But it could have just been something that the police are just saying.
That's not a butcher's knife. That's very different.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's yeah, and I shouldn't speculate, but. And that was from the FBI. Remember, the FBI said they were proud of that knife.
Yeah.
And when you buy a K-bar knife, it's not... I have knives that I had that karambit that I spent $120. I'm proud on that knife. If I was to kill someone with that knife, I mean, I'd be proud of it. If someone was to attack me and I killed them with that knife, like, what I'm saying? I'd be proud of it because I know it will withstand it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're gonna have some news updates, I'm sure, this week and next week to talk about it.
Well, I hope you guys liked that. That was freaking long. I wanted to cover that, and we're gonna stay on that during the week. And as news comes, we're gonna just hop on these cameras right quick and do a quick own update. So make sure you subscribe to this, and that's all. So.
And we're gonna do another episode for Supremos?
Yeah, if you guys want to stay on, we got a story that serial killer, long and hard, just like Shrim likes it. If you guys want to stay on, we're doing a serial killer after this. Not really much known. His very old book I found. It's very old, from the 1800s, but nothing new. Just you haven't heard it before. And I think it's really interesting because he is a sociopath that has killed, quote, 9 persons. From the
9
gilded.
And wants to kill 2 more.
Anyway, so we're going to do that. If you want to stay on with us, patreon.com/talkmurder and become our top tier member and stay on with us. We're going to be back in about 20 minutes. Also, you can find next week, this episode will be out on any podcasting app. I blog at talkmurder.com. You can go there and check out all the episodes and all the crime photos and stuff like that. So be sure to check out that from the other episodes. Anyway, that's all I have now. So as before, this is Nicole and John. We usually have another co-host, Jen, but she's not here today. This is the Talk Murder Me podcast. And until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.